Hey Gearheads, thanks for tuning in. I know Ashley's not doing the intro, but that's because this is a part 2. If you haven't seen part 1 of the door window seals, click on this link up here, and that's part 1. Go watch that, and then come back. If you have seen that, let's get right back into it. Okay, so as you can see, we got everything out of the door and on the table. So what I've done is I've just kind of cleaned out these channels, made sure all the old insulation and weather stripping is out of them, clean them a little bit with sandpaper, kind of get everything out of the way here. I did the same thing for the vent glass, just clean this out. Just realize there are rivets in here. If you need to take this apart and replace this, you can do that as well. There's videos on YouTube for that. I'm not doing that at this point, so we're not going to worry about that. Now this does get a specific channel that's here, so this basically just presses in. Make sure it's right at the top and lined up with the top of this, and then just press that in, make sure it's all correct in there, and that's pretty much it for that. And then that can go back in the car, and then you have this other weather stripping that has a specific way it needs to go in. So if you notice on the back of this, you have these openings here. That has to go in the curve of the cab, and then this goes forward, and then this will go all the way down, and it will actually fit in that rear channel that we took out. So, and then we have the window felts that go in the doorway, which we'll do last. So, first thing we'll do is go ahead and get this channel in here, and we'll put the vent glass back in. To reassemble the door, first thing we're going to do is lower the window crank all the way down. I was able to lube it up, and I wasn't able to get these screws out, so but it's moving pretty good, so we're going to leave it alone. So with this down all the way, we'll go ahead and put our window back in and get it in those tracks. I'll show you how. Here's the bottom of the window track, and as you can see, it's got an opening here for the front roller and an opening here for the back roller. So what we'll do is we'll slide the two rollers in here and then slide the glass back and then lift it up a little bit, and then it won't be able to go down far enough because that stopper is going to go back in. So let's go ahead and get that aligned. Of course, again, if you have fresh paint, you may want to put tape on it. If your truck's patina like mine, more scratches will give it more character. Alright, so you can angle the back of the glass down and the front up and get it on that rear slider. We're going to slide it forward and get that one little part lined up with that bottom roll, that front roller. There it goes. Now, once you get the window back in the track, you want to go ahead and raise it up a little bit and go ahead and get this bump stop back in, and you just spray some penetrating oil on there and here, and if you're lucky enough that it comes out like mine did, which is pretty incredible, it didn't break, you should be able to just pop it back in there. Alright, now with the window all the way down and slid all the way to the back, we'll put the vent glass back in from the inside at the angle so you can get the bracket in. You just stand it up and get it through the braces, and then when you can, you twist it to 90 degrees, and then it'll get placed right back in here. Make sure it's all the way forward, and you can put these three little screws back in. So I recommend getting these three little guys started, and then put these bottom two guys in there to make sure everything's lined up correctly before you tighten them up. Okay, so now you can go ahead and put the weather stripping in. Remember, so the shorter end to where these are, these go in the curve of your door. So you basically want to butt this end up against your vent glass, and you just fold this in half and press it in. And then what you're going to do with this end is just feed it down into the door. Make sure it's not twisted at all. And once that's down in your door, just make sure this is folded in and in that channel correctly. Now we're going to slide the window forward. Seat it in that channel, and you're going to hold pressure on the back of it while you roll it up. to keep it in that front channel, and make sure as it goes up, it gets into that back channel where it needs to be. Make sure it's not in the way. Make sure it's up all the way. Now it's seated in the channel everywhere. Ooh, look how pretty. And now we can go ahead and put this lower bracket back in. Now the rest of this channel that's hanging out down here is going to go inside this bracket when we put it back in here. So we'll take the screws out. Take this back in here. And you can put the bracket in first and then get the window channel in after that. This is a little bit of a pain sometimes to get it in, but you can see where the hole is up here for that top screw mount. Mine was a little bent and twisted up, so I had to move it around a little bit to get it to line up, but we're all good there. So we'll tighten those up. Tighten this one up. Do the same thing in that lower channel. You just want to fold it and push it in, and that should be good. Alright, last step is putting the door lock mechanism in. I took the actuator off, the handle part, just to make it a little easier to get it in. Maybe should have put it in before this rear track, but that's okay. We can fish it in this way and then just add that after. So your door lock rod, you got to make sure it's up, coming through where it's supposed to be. You can even find it. Make sure your door lock rod is coming out through the hole up there. And then we'll just go ahead and line this back up here and put in the special screws. Now this is one of the areas where you have special screws, these pan head screws. So make sure that you're using the correct ones there for that. And again, get them started by hand. Make sure this is in the right place. And then go ahead and tighten them up. For these rods, if you do have to take them out of these clips, it basically just goes through the hole once it's on the other piece, and then this just clips up. So you can rotate this off and undo the rod, and then when you put it back together, just put the rod on and just give it a quarter turn. It'll click on there with those two little arms. And then get these 3 screws lined up for the door handle and tighten them up. Put the phone back on there because it was on there. It's pretty neat to have that. Now if you removed your key switch like I did, just take this back off. This pops in from the outside, goes this way, and then this will just slide behind it. Oh, look at that. Alright, make sure your key switch works. I've never locked this truck, so I don't even know this worked. And then we should be good to go. And you can go ahead and test everything. Make sure it's still opening and closing. Make sure if you lock it, doesn't work. You also want to make sure your window rolls down. Make sure that's all smooth operating. Alright, now we can go ahead and pull this back off. Put the clip back on it, and then we'll go ahead and put the door panel back on. So again, this just slides up into this channel. Make sure your screw holes are lined up, and these will just go right back in. Alright, now you just got to put the door handle and the window crank back on. When you have the spring clip in there, it'll just snap on. You may need to pay attention to which way it's facing, when it's up or down, depending on how you want it set up. I used to have a door handle too, but I don't know about that. We'll put our little skeleton back in there. Door handle, door handle. Anybody seen a door handle? Now your door handle does have to be facing forward because this is going to go back here. So, but same thing with it, you just pop it on the clip. This one I don't have the bezel anymore, and I'm not getting one, so we're just going to put it on there. Then we'll go ahead and make sure it works. Don't want somebody to get stuck in your truck. And then last thing on the inside here is we're going to go ahead and get these screws fed back through here. These are kind of tricky because you have to get it lined up right with this hole after you get the head of the screw. Alright, once you get it through there, go ahead and feed it in here. Get them both started before you tighten them up. Now remember to make sure these are nice and tight. This is how people are going to shut your door. Okay, now for these two window felts, you notice you have a felt one and then you have a rubber one with a lip. So the rubber one with the lip goes on the outside and the felt one goes on the inside. And these do have sides, so if you got both of them and you're doing both of them, make sure that you're putting them on the right sides. And up here, it's going to slide into the track at the back. Let me show you that. It's going to slide into the track at the back, so just peel it back and slide it in there. And that should get it lined up with where it needs to be. And then these little clips, it's got the inside one, that's the one that goes in the hole. These stay back, so you just got to get each one of them started, and then you basically just push them down and they'll snap in. Be very gentle with these, especially if aftermarket ones, they're probably a little less tough, more flimsy. If you have OE ones, you might be a little better off, but it actually looks really nice all the way down there. So I'm going to go with that. And outside one is basically the same thing. Once you get it started, it should go get lined up and just pop in each one of these. Alright, and once you get that all done, you just want to roll your window up one last time, make sure everything is in the right tracks and where it needs to be. Make sure it goes up all the way. Make sure it goes down all the way. Alright, all that's left is to clean up the tools and the mess. So overall, not a bad job, pretty easy to do. If you're not doing anything inside here, you probably don't even need to do all that. You may be able to just pull this stuff out and replace them. But it does give you an opportunity to get everything opened up and clean it out and put some lithium grease in there and make sure you're going to have years of trouble-free operation. So, see you on the next one.
Well, that's it for this episode. You can leave comments below, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you get notifications when new videos are uploaded.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, stay positive, keep on wrenching. Alright, once you get all those off, it basically just pops out of the bottom. And basically, alright, once you get all those out, it'll just pop out of the bottom here. Okay, now with all that out the way. Okay, now with all of that out of the way. Now with all of that out of the way, we can get the vent window out. We'll slide the glass all the way forward and drop it in.